Today, I want to talk about what is typical adolescent behavior versus behavior that's cause for concern. Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Christy Kolev. I'm a licensed mental health counselor and a teen expert with over a decade of experience. I help parents navigate complex and common struggles with their teens, improve their relationships, and embrace non judgmental parenting skills. A lot of times, parents swing between the extreme of worrying too much about normal adolescent behavior or overlooking things that really might need attention. So, understanding the difference between both can really empower you to make an informed decision on when to intervene or when to seek help. So, I'm going to list a bunch of typical teen behaviors that we see at this stage of development, and then I'll talk about their more concerning counterparts to help you tell the difference. Let's start with moodiness. So, increased moodiness is so normal for this stage of development, right? They are experiencing changes in their hormones in their brain, so we can expect to see some shifts in mood. However, what is a cause for concern would be really intense, prolonged, painful moods, leading to mood disorders like major depression or generalized anxiety, seeing mood dependent behaviors, things like self injury or suicidal ideations, or even panic attacks. That's usually a sign that you need to step in. Another typical adolescent behavior is feeling self consciousness, right? So at this stage of development, they're kind of feeling like they're on a stage and everyone's looking at them. So there could be an increase in some body image disturbance, but a cause for concern would be obsessive behavior or like perfectionism around their appearance, maybe even social phobia or withdrawal. They could try to mitigate some of these body image disturbances with binging, restriction, purging, overexercising. Those would be concerning. Or they could swing the other way and just completely be neglectful of their appearance. So, those would all be concerning behaviors. Another typical adolescent behavior is dawdling or spending a lot of time on simple tasks, just not having great time management. That's pretty typical for adolescents. When it's a cause for concern is when there are multiple distractions to the point where they can't finish projects or homework, such a lack of focus that they can't complete daily tasks, or chronic lateness, right? Just complete misuse of time management. Another normal part of this stage of development is parent teen conflict. As we know, there are going to be an increase in arguments and disagreements as they kind of navigate for their own individuality in this stage. But what would be cause for concern is verbal aggression or physical aggression, or even things like running away. Another typical adolescent behavior that we may not like, but it is normal, is a curiosity and desire to experiment with drugs, alcohol, nicotine. What would be a cause for concern is if there is substance abuse, if there is selling drugs, or having a substance using peer group. That could be a red flag as well. Another typical adolescent behavior is risk taking behavior. In this stage of development, they're feeling invincible and like not vulnerable. They can take on anything, and that can lead to more increased risk behavior. What would be a cause for concern, though, is extreme risk taking behaviors like drunk driving or vandalism, frequent accidents, or experimenting with firearms or weapons, and run ins with the law, right? Any kind of legal issues would be a cause for concern. Something else that's typical for this stage of development are difficult school transitions. So, that transition from middle school to high school can be difficult for some. Adjusting to that new peer group or the new workload can be hard. When it's a cause for concern is when they're refusing to go to school at all, if they're being bullied or they're bullying others, feeling really disconnected from their peer group, experiencing truancy or failing grades, or even dropping out. Another typical adolescent behavior is sexual maturation, right? So there's going to be that curiosity sexually and experimentation sexually. What would be cause for concern is multiple partners or sexual promiscuity and just engaging in unsafe sex practices. Another typical adolescent behavior is your teen being critical, right? Having opinions and being an idealist is pretty normal for this stage of development as they're kind of identifying their values and their own identity. What would be a cause for concern is always pushing back against social rules, causing trouble with family members or teachers or anyone in authority, and just kind of overall defiance and opposition. Another typical teen behavior is stress with decision making. Stress around making everyday decisions, things that you and I might take for granted, might feel a little overwhelming for them. What would be a cause for concern, though, is if they are completely paralyzed by decision making, then that'd be time to step in. Another typical adolescent behavior is a desire for privacy. It's very normal for teens to want more privacy at this stage, especially as they're gaining some more independence. What would be a cause for concern is completely isolating themselves from the family, communication breakdowns, lying, hiding, and just overall secrecy. Another typical adolescent behavior, of course, in this day and age, is interest in technology. So, a desire to be on their computer, on their phones, on social media for several hours is normal. You can have your own limits around that, but it's a normal thing for them to want. Cause for concern would be spending hours on websites or engaging in content that's really high risk or triggering, oversharing personal information online or like sexual content online, like sexting or casually meeting up with people they meet online and just, general unsafety around the people they're communicating with. Um, Another typical adolescent behavior is having a messy room or just kind of being disorganized. Again, something we may not like, but is very typical for this stage of development. What would be a cause for concern is extreme disorganization, like rotting food in their room or their clothes are just completely covering the floor and they can't find necessities in their room. That would be more concerning or a sign that something else is going on. And finally, a typical teen behavior is changes in sleep schedule. So they may want to sleep in more during the day, stay up later at night, especially on the weekends. And that's very normal. When it becomes a cause for concern is if they are actually staying up all night, sleeping all day, not just on the weekends, maybe even on the weekdays. And their sleep schedule is getting in the way of attending things, especially like school. That would be a cause for concern for sure. Recognizing the difference between typical behavior and concerning behavior can be really helpful when deciding how to intervene with your teen. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't have rules and limits around typical adolescent behavior. Of course, you can. But you can validate your teen and their desire to want to engage in those behaviors and normalize it so it doesn't make them feel like they're some bad teen for wanting to engage in them. If you do see some persistent concerning behavior, then it may be time to talk to your teen and seek professional help. Also, if you have some behavior that you're noticing in your teen that I didn't mention today and you're wondering, is this a cause for concern or is this typical? Comment below and I'll offer you my insight. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more parenting tips and parenting videos. I'll see you in the next one.